All right, we live.
Peace and blessings, y'all. Welcome to the GOAT James Kingdom Show with B. Lee and A. Johnny. As y'all know, we go live every Sunday to talk the GOAT conversation in basketball. First off, we would like to say happy holidays to everyone. Peace and blessings to everybody. Hopefully, you guys are having a great holiday. Tomorrow's Christmas for those who celebrate Christmas. For those who celebrate Hanukkah, happy Hanukkah. For those who celebrate Kwanzaa coming up in a couple of days, Merry Kwanzaa. Happy New Year's as well to everyone. So again, from the GOAT James Kingdom Planner, we would like to wish everybody a happy holiday season. Be safe, don't drink and drive. But we are the GOAT James Kingdom platform, and we are here again with another great episode. As today's episode, we are going to give you guys the GOAT James Kingdom review of the debate that I had with NMB Sports on the Michael Jordan fans are the best page. Can we mute John right quick? John, mute yourself.
Yeah.
Leave it, John. Yeah. So yeah, that's John. You have some background noise, John. But thank you for joining us. As you can see, we have our panel here as normal. We have Travis, King John, Brandon is here. Happy holidays, gentlemen. What's good, folks? What's good, brothers?
Everybody.
It's all good, man.
All right, so we got everybody as well in the comments. Shout out to everybody that's already a GOAT James Kingdom subscriber. If you're not a subscriber, go ahead and hit that subscribe button. Don't be afraid to go ahead and check out our perks and membership at the GOAT James Kingdom platform, as we are going to continue to bring all the great material when it comes to LeBron James, because we do it best. As y'all can see last night, the GOAT was performing. 40-point performance, got them out of their losing streak. So we are talking GOAT James Kingdom today, but we are going to talk about all of the debate that we had with NMB Sports on Michael Jordan fans are the best page. So y'all go ahead and hit those like buttons. Shout out to Twin Man who's in the comments, Chris. We see Politicus Rex is here. Shout out to Rex. Rundown Productions. Phillips in the building. Zero. Shout out to Zero. A Weezy Bang is in here. Y'all, we're going to have a great show. So today's show, we're going to review the debate. If you guys did not get a chance to watch the debate, it is available on our platform, on Michael Jordan's Fans Are the Best platforms, and it's also on NMB Sports platform. It is an hour debate. It was literally just a half an hour, but it was an hour long show. Great debate. We had a lot of fun. So, with no further ado, we'll let Brandon get started with it. Brandon, what did you think of the debate? And how do you think of the backlash of everything? How do you think all that played out?
Well, I guess the debate was kind of funny because they usually do the same thing. They discredit whatever LeBron James has done in his career. Everything LeBron James has been discredited. The championships don't matter. The points don't matter. The assists, nothing matters but what Michael Jordan did. And you can't really have a real debate with those diehard Jordan fans because they cannot acknowledge anybody. They don't really want to acknowledge Bill Russell. They don't want to acknowledge Will Chamberlain. Like, it's great to acknowledge what others have done in the game, but sometimes the problem with them is that whatever Jordan did is just the greatest ever, and everything else is just not even close. So that's basically how the debate went. And of course, they smudge things, they tell lies, they do this, they do that, other than sticking with facts. Narratives is the key. Facts is not really something that they use. Stats don't really matter unless it's Jordan versus somebody else. With LeBron, stats do not matter at all, just championships.
That's facts. King John, you were there, you witnessed it. What were your thoughts of the debate between us and NMB Sports?
Well, first, I want to thank Johnny and Brandon. The way y'all represent Go James Kingdom when y'all out there, period. Y'all represent us to the fullest. And all I ask is when y'all go on other shows, because everybody know that y'all going so y'all can get y'all support in the chat as well. Because we belong in that chat when y'all debating all these different people. That's what we
Mhm.
need to do. And I mean, I double down on everything Brandon said. I mean, when you're having a GOAT debate about the history of the NBA, that involves all the players. Every player that's ever played, and that includes Bill Russell. I don't know why every time you have a GOAT debate and it's only talking about championships, and then Bill Russell is brought up, nobody wants to talk. Oh, we ain't talking about him. I thought we were having a GOAT debate. And all you want to do is talk about championships. So I brought up the guy with the most championships. And then it goes off the rails. And I just love it. Like I said, I watched it. I love how patient y'all was. how y'all try to stick to the facts and not the feelings or the narrative part of the conversation, just the facts. So that's my 2 thoughts.
Yeah, I appreciate that. Appreciate that. Travis, I know we spoke about this a little bit on Friday. What do you think of the debate? You've been on that side, and you are the Michael Jordan delegate here today. I think you're going to be the lone. You're going to be the lone wolf today. Craig's not going to be here, and we're hoping Ralph shows up. But let's see what happens. And again, we'll open up the link to give you some help if you really need some eventually. but what did you think? What did you think?
I mean, it was a great debate all around. I mean, he was a lot more prepared this time than like when he first came on the show, and he was just kind of flailing around. But I think he was a lot more organized. Both of you had really good points to lay out. I thought you definitely did a better job of just like coherently and less like more fluidly presenting your points without having to break or stutter or anything like that. As usual, you did a fantastic job. I thought, but it was a really good back and forth. I love their format that they did because that's when you get everyone gets the chance to kind of lay out, their points and put the pieces together. But all in all, great debate. Really showcased, I think, your ability, and it was good to see.
I appreciate that. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. Well, we had some fun because you said I was very articulate and I didn't stutter. To be honest with you, after I was done, I thought I stuttered a lot. I'm a very hard critic of myself, but when I got a chance to watch it afterwards, it's different when you're in the field. You don't know what you're doing, but when I watched it afterwards as a viewer, I can hear what you guys said, and I can see what you meant, because there was some times, and we're gonna bring it up. We're gonna actually show his parts. We're gonna let you guys hear his takes. We're gonna pause it. We're gonna break down a lot of the things that he said to show you guys why GOAT James Kingdom exists. Because you guys don't understand how much lies Jordan fans tell. You guys just do not know. But Brandon's going to bring it up. So go ahead, Brandon. I'm sitting back. I'm ready. Shout out to Anthony Davis as well, another GOAT James Kingdom member. To double down on what King John said. King John, we are going to legitimately build a crew of people out here that's going to handle these Michael Jordan fans, because there's enough of them that bully people all over. So we're going to need people like you, Anthony Davis, Zero, though. Everybody who's a GOAT James Kingdom member, we're going to have special shows and special chat lines where we all going to get together. We're gonna shut this down, like you said, because we need to talk basketball, and Michael Jordan fans don't let us talk basketball on top of that. So, all right, Brandon, go ahead, brother.
All right, I will largely go over some of the main points I covered in my video, which I'm sure Johnny saw. As usual with this topic, and in my opinion, and in most people's opinion, this is going to be a peak in dominance versus longevity and accumulation argument. Even if my opponents don't agree, I think that's how most people see it. Obviously, if we are going to argue who's better, we want to know who dominated more, who achieved more during their time in the league, and when they were dominating said league. And I think it's no question that Jordan's dominance is far superior to LeBron's, as well as his skill level overall as an overall player and his two-way ability. Whether we use trophies, awards, times leading the league in any statistical or analytical categories, and we can even do top 10 averages as well as the competition that they played against. And even with about 500 less games played, including playoffs, Jordan still leads in several categories and awards overall, oftentimes the most important ones. But to reiterate my accumulation argument, I want to just bring up a few examples. Jason Kidd has more threes made than Dirk, Pedro, Carmelo, and Durant. He is not a better three-point shooter. Robert Parrish has more points than Wade, Bird, McGrady, and Anthony Davis. He is not a better scorer, shot creator, or shooter than any of those players. Is LeBron James a better rebounder than David Robinson? Absolutely not. And so to reiterate my point, in 11 full healthy seasons with the Bulls, I don't even need his.
So right there, we see how he immediately wanted to discredit whatever LeBron James did. Immediately wanted to discredit whatever LeBron James did. He started from the beginning, saying it's funny, but let me keep going.
Sophomore year or the Wizards year or anything like that, he has 13 times led the league in any particular category. LeBron James has only twice led the league during his entire 20-year career. But what if we do top 10 finishes and try to help LeBron out?
Pause that right
quick.
Pause it. So, okay, you heard he said Jordan led the league in the categories 13 times. What he's saying is 10 scoring titles and 3 steals titles. So he just reworded what we already know, that Jordan has 10 scoring titles and 3 steals titles, while LeBron only has 2. Right? So that's how he tried to come into the debate. This is how they become disingenuous. They don't tell you the full length of everything. They don't give you the actual facts. They dress it up for you in a way so that we can be confused. He did this a lot throughout the debate. He was stating things that you have to figure out, what is he talking about? He didn't provide no new information is what I'm trying to say. He just worded it differently. But go ahead, Brandon.
As an overall player and his two-way ability, whether we use trophy, full healthy seasons with the Bulls, I don't even need his sophomore year or the Wizards year or anything like that. He has 13 times led the league in any particular category. LeBron James has only twice led the league during his entire 20-year career. But what if we do top 10 finishes and try to help LeBron out? Even if we do an average of top 10 finishes, and I'll use 13 years for Michael Jordan, he still averages more times in the top 10 for any stat or category than LeBron has. What if we do analytics? Again, in his 11 years, full 11 healthy years with the Bulls, he has 61 times led in total for any analytic compared to LeBron's 43 times in 20 years. He has led the league more times in every analytical category than LeBron, except for value over replacement, in which they have both done it 9 times. What if we do top 10 for analytics? And I'll use 13 years for MJ. MJ still averages more top 10 finishes in analytics than LeBron has, and has led the league more times in all those categories than LeBron has, as said. Jordan, in his dominance, had 19 first-team selections in 11 years compared to LeBron's 18 first-team selections in 20 years. What if we use all NBA averages for their careers?
We got 5 seconds left.
Michael Jordan still averages more all NBA selections overall for his 13 years than LeBron does for his 20.
So that was the first round right there.
Brandon, I just have one question before you continue.
Yeah.
Why do we talk about LeBron James' 21-year career, but we only talk about parts of Jordan's career? We don't put his whole career to the test. He played 11 years with the Bills. We ain't gonna count his second year or the Wizard years. Why do people do that? I just had that question.
I mean, I think his case is because he said it's about accumulation versus dominance. So he's only talking about Jordan's dominant years. That's what they like to do, and they want to compare that to LeBron's overall career. So when he brought up Jordan having 18 or 19 first teams in 11 years, that's not 11 years. Jordan's first 11 years is 96. Jordan doesn't have 19 first teams after 96. So that's how disingenuous they are, because he wants to exclude. That's what they do. They exclude things. So they're going to exclude 86. They're going to exclude 95, and say, well, and in 11 full seasons, because you heard him say that 11 full seasons, Jordan has 19 first teams compared to LeBron in 20 years only having 18. When it didn't take LeBron 20 years to get 18. It took LeBron 17 years to get 18. You see what I'm trying to say? And then he said by average. What average? There's no average in that. Like everything, they try to do everything by average. There's no average. Did he get it or did not get it? You can't give it to him for a season that he didn't get it in. You understand what I'm trying to say? Like they do that with the VORP, which he's going to get into. So that's his thing. They like to just chop it up to what Jordan did great. And what he didn't do great, we could ignore. But LeBron, we can't ignore LeBron's not great years. We can't ignore 2011. We can't ignore none of LeBron's bad years. We can't ignore LeBron's rookie year. If we really wanted to take LeBron's rookie year out, he's even way better than Jordan efficient wise. But they don't want to do that. That's what his argument is. LeBron is not as dominant as Jordan because Jordan's dominant years is better than LeBron's longevity. That was his argument. At least that's what I got. What about that, Travis? Did you think that?
Like we all know Jordan was dominant, when he played. So that's not really a question. Like we really have up to that point, we only seen Wilt, but we haven't seen the winning other than when, Jordan was winning and dominating. So this is stuff we already know. But just to try to discredit what LeBron did, That's kind of weird. Like we know Jordan was dominant, but you're saying that LeBron wasn't, like, because he didn't do this, he didn't do that, and and we want to get to the different era part, but they cannot separate LeBron era from Jordan era. But they could easily separate Bill Russell or Will Chamberlain era without a problem.
Yep. Travis, so what I mean, I know another thing, just to add before you go, Travis. Another thing is that he compared Jordan to dominating his era, right? So now they always said the conversations between Jordan and LeBron, but why are you giving Jordan credit for being better in his era? Like Jordan didn't play in LeBron's era. LeBron didn't play in Jordan's era. So being top 10 in your era has nothing to do with anything. Like Jordan didn't have to compete with the type of players LeBron had to compete with for those same statistics and awards. And that's why it doesn't really matter. Like, I don't understand how that equates, because I can tell you, well, Wilt Chamberlain then had all of this, but then they're going to tell you his competition wasn't there. You understand what I'm trying to say? Wilt Chamberlain had the greatest statistical things, like he was bringing up all the leading in categories. He did it 19 times. But you're going to say, oh, his era was weak. That's going to be the excuse for why Wilt Chamberlain did. But if we tell you Jordan's era was weak, that's why he was able to get 13 seasonal titles, you're going to say we're just hating on Jordan. You see what I'm saying? Well, go ahead, Travis. I'm sorry.
No, I mean, I think you're right to a degree. I mean, more and more I've actually come to think that really the only way to compare certain players is by how they dominated their era, because you're right. I mean, they didn't play against each other, so there's really no head-to-head things. It's like, how can you – it's not really fair to discredit Bill Russell's or Will Chamberlain's era, because you play who's in front of you. It's not like they have the option to hop into the 2000s and see where they stack up. But I think you're right. Like, you don't want to discredit anything that anyone was doing, and like you really just want to compare it by eras. That's why I don't really, in this case, you really just want to do eras. Again, like you said, it's hard to, especially different players in different positions. It's tough. So I mean, I would have kind of, if I were him, I maybe would have stacked in that instead of trying to say, well, he didn't really dominate his era or this era. You just kind of want to frame it that way because it's all relative.
Yeah, the thing is, if we just want to do era by era, what LeBron did in his era, which is the one won more than LeBron, more MVPs, more Finals MVPs, more points, second in assists. I think he's third. No, he's second in defensive rebounds, second in assists. Like LeBron James, if you look what he's done, actually did more in his era than Jordan. And because LeBron has played so long, his numbers look better. So if we want to do the like era thing, it would go more on LeBron's side. But the only thing is LeBron does so many things on the court. He's not just going to just score the ball. Like he does so many things on the court. He's number one in points all time, and number four in assists all time. He's not going to lead the league in points every year because he's doing more than just scoring. He's doing more than just staying in the passing lanes. He has to rebound. He has to block shots. His block rate is high. Like LeBron has to do so much more on the court that he cannot just stick to one thing, which is just playing in the passing lanes or just scoring the ball. We've seen in the playoffs when he just has to score the ball, he's going to get over 35 points a game when he just has to score the ball. We've seen that throughout the time that he played his second stint with Cleveland when he was older, how he was his first stint in Cleveland when he just had to score the ball. He can score the ball at a high rate. His assists would drop, of course, but if LeBron had to score the ball at a high rate, he can. But that's just not who LeBron is. Magic Johnson could have averaged well over 20 points per game. But that's just not the player he was. Larry Bird could have averaged more than 24 points a game. That's just not the player he was. Simple as that. Wilt Chamberlain could have ended his career with almost 40 points per game, but he just didn't want to. So just trying to knock LeBron only for his points per game is which they like to do is kind of, hilarious to me.
Yeah.
All right, so let's go ahead.
Hold on. We'll go to the second round. Just to sum it up, his basic premise in round one was Jordan's dominance over the league, and he brought up different things like the all defensive teams and Jordan winning scoring titles, and he used basically Jordan's 11 prime years. He took out, he took out Washington, and he took out the injured years and the shortened year of retirement to do such. And remember, the conversation wasn't about who was the greater career; it was about who was the better basketball player, because he already admitted that the GOAT conversation because they can't talk Bill Russell and Wilt Chamberlain and all these guys. So it was just supposed to be LeBron and Jordan, who was the better player. So that was number one, his dominance over the league. That was his case. Go ahead, Brandon.
Okay. All right.
So really, on average, LeBron is really only a better rebounder and assist man than Michael Jordan. And it's funny you bring up playing different positions because whenever Michael Jordan played point guard, much like LeBron does, he absolutely crushes anything and everything LeBron has done. Averaging 30 points, 11 assists, 9 rebounds, over 2.5 steals. When he played point guard, although a small sample size, if you want to bring up playing different positions,
A very, very small sample size.
and what Michael Jordan maybe would have looked like in today's league, the way LeBron has played, he would easily outpace LeBron. But again,
And also when he played point guard, they were under 500. So that's something that we got to also look at. He wasn't successful playing point guard.
Jordan, as a team player, you say getting people involved, played within the system, played within the triangle offense, and led his team to 6 rings. If we're going to talk about the ultimate player, the ultimate job as a player is to win. And there's no doubt Jordan did that better than LeBron. Also, Michael is definitely a better two-way player. You got the all defensive selections, which if that didn't prove it, we have defensive player of the year. If that didn't prove it, he has more steals per game, more blocks per game if you actually break it down by game. And he's easily a better two-way player. There's just no doubt about that. He's also one of only player to twice have 200 steals and 100 blocks. The only player to ever have 250 steals and 125 blocks. His defensive dominance really is not even up for debate when talking about LeBron. And again, we talk about being a better shooter. We're talking about 1 to 2 percentage points. Michael Jordan essentially played entirely within the arc. And the only reason really why his field goal percentage in terms of effective and true shooting is higher is because he gets up a few more threes a game, in which those things weigh more towards a three-point attempt and make. But it's funny, if we want to look at overall contribution, we already have this. It's called PER. I know you guys don't like PER, which I'm not surprised at. But in terms of PER, he's first all-time, second all-time in the playoffs for PER, which is just a rough estimate of how much you produce per minute. And again, I know you guys don't like PER, but I don't like effective and true shooting percentage either, right? But it is what it is. So in terms of actual production, actual winning, actual being a team player, you want to look at him playing point guard. He beats LeBron all across the board on these things. He beats him in more categories. He beats him in winning. He has a better all-time season win percentage, playoff percentage. He's gone through harder competition, harder SRS. His finals and regular seasons SRS are way harder than anything LeBron has gone through. And so without question, I don't see how you could say LeBron is a better player. Based on what? Because you think that he somehow had a great block on Iguodala. He shut down D Rose for a
15
quarter.
seconds.
And with that being said, there's no doubt in terms of, especially the defensive end, it's really not even close when looking how it all stacks up, all the categories, awards, and stats. Offensively, we can maybe have a little bit more of an argument, but he's definitely a better scorer and definitely led his team more to wins.
All right. So of course he lied about a few things. I can understand he messed up. He said that Michael Jordan's the only one with 150 steals and 200 blocks. I think he meant 200 steals and 150 blocks. I believe that's what he meant. But Hakeem Olajuwon done that a few times. Hakeem Olajuwon had 200 steals and 200 blocks. So this is what they do. They like to say things that's not true. He liked to say things like harder. It was harder. Like that's the narrative base they get. Like they have no clue what was harder. That don't even make any sense. And then he went on saying that Michael Jordan is a better shot blocker than LeBron James. I don't even know how that's true. How is Michael Jordan a better shot blocker than LeBron James? Do anybody want to chime in on that part? Because I'm having a hard time understanding how this is possible.
He brought up a lot of other stuff too, okay, like the point guard thing, right? Again, they love to bring up Michael Jordan being a point guard, which he's never was listed as the point guard. I mean, he just took over the offense completely. That was it. He was going to run the offense, and that was for 11 games. and they were under 500. And that's when they say he averaged almost a triple-double, and he can show that he can be a ball facilitator and all this other stuff. That's a super small sample size, right? But then the thing was, when he brought up the field goal percentage LeBron James had. He brought up how LeBron James only has a better true shooting because of three-point shooting. So he was knocking LeBron James for being a better shooter, basically for shooting better at three-pointers, while he's trying to say Jordan's the better shooter, right? But then he said that Jordan only had a little bit of a less in field goal percentage, right? About less than a point, right? Which is basically 7/10 of a point, right? He says that's small, but Michael Jordan's 600th of a point. If y'all don't understand math, 600 of a point is way smaller than 7/10. Way smaller. All right? That's enough to say Michael Jordan's a better shot blocker. Because Michael Jordan's 0.83 and LeBron is 0.876 or something like that. 777 or something like that. 778. So he's basically like 600th of a point better. 600th of a point better. And he has the nerve to knock 7/10 of a point better in field goal percentage.
And when you look at what Michael Jordan, like his first couple years, most people know that he was just way more superior than all the guards he was facing. But once, the game got a little bit better in the 90s, his block rate went down by a lot. He wasn't really blocking that many shots because he was just playing versus better guards. Simple as that. And if we look at LeBron James, his blocks is just continuing to increase. You look at somebody like Paul George, who's 6'9", very athletic. He averaged less blocks than LeBron James. Look at Kawhi Leonard, 2-time defensive player of the year. He averaged less. Like, as competition gets better, you're not going to just be a wing and just swat everybody's ball away. So there's no way that Michael Jordan was a better shot blocker than LeBron James. As we see now, if someone's on a fast break, they're looking over their shoulder at LeBron James because they know he's coming. It don't even matter if you're a point guard or a center. If you know LeBron James is coming, that fear is in your heart because you better hurry up and do something. That's how fearful LeBron James is. And he was saying there's no way LeBron's a better defender. LeBron's a better interior defender. I don't think that's really a question. He's 10th all time in defensive rebounds for a reason. He's great interior blocking the ball. He plays the passing lane. He has over 2,000 steals as well. Number one in the postseason. LeBron's a great defender. Just because the coaches stopped voting and LeBron's not all NBA, all defensive team anymore, doesn't make LeBron a lesser defender. The media does not game for LeBron James defensively. I'm pretty sure the head coaches are not like, okay, let's just get LeBron, by himself on an island and let's just go at him. Let's just go at LeBron James. They have tried before, but it didn't work out. Even LeBron James in year 21. This year, Luka tried to isolate himself on LeBron James and it didn't work out. LeBron James is still a good ball defender. He's great in the passing lane still. He had a game with 5 steals this year at year 21. The guy's, like we said, defensively, his stats across the board is pretty amazing. So I don't understand this thing that Michael Jordan is so superior defensively because he won a Defensive Player of the Year in 1988. Disregard everything LeBron James has done in his career.
Yeah, with that one, I would have tried to, if I were just NMB, I would have probably said it a little bit differently. Like, you never, in these situations, you never want to knock the guy you're debating, especially if he's like if in your opinion, if he's like at worst number 3, but I think he's number 2 with a bullet. You don't want to just discredit his accomplishments. I've always said that I think LeBron is probably one of the top 5 or 6 best two-way players of all time because he has like you said, he has the defensive accolades. He has the win shares. He has, he's led in a lot of advanced metrics, or he's been like runner, whatever you want to do. I do think that just based on and this is where I think is when you're comparing, and I had this discussion last night, but when you're comparing different positions, some positions lend themselves to accumulating more stats easier just because of, again, how their positions played. Whereas I do think Mike
I mean, the thing is, they always want to go to what LeBron did in his position. I mean, and Michael Jordan did in his position. Like, how's that even an argument about who's a better player?
It isn't because it's another thing. This is what they do. Hold on, wait. You said what? LeBron was 17th in blocks, right?
Yep.
Why you say he's 17th in blocks when there's like 7 guys at 0.8 blocks per game?
Because it's just when you you have to round it past the 0.8. It's close,
but why do you do that? Why not do a dense ranking system which says if you're all tied, you all have the same ranking position? Why are you adding things that don't count? They all tied at 0.8. When you're literally talking at 0.8 blocks per game, that's top 10 of all small forwards in NBA history. So
yeah, it's just like the Will Chamberlain thing.
No, it's not like a Will Chamberlain thing. The Will Chamberlain and LeBron is the same thing. They average 30.1 points per game.
Now Will's at 30.07.
But 30.07 is not the official stat. If they were actually playing for a career competition, then you could do that. But there's no career competition for scoring and points. That's what I'm saying. The averages, it's not a competition. It's 0.8. So Scottie Pippen has 0.8 blocks per game. Larry Bird has 0.8 blocks per game. Some dude named Gilmore has 0.8 blocks per game, or Adrian Gillian or something like that. There's a bunch of small forwards that average 0.8 blocks per game. You want to go to the 100th point to make LeBron less. That's hating.
It's not hating. It's just math.
That's not math because the math is 0.8. You have to round up. You're not rounding. Why you stop rounding? You have to round up. The NBA doesn't have a because you're going by position. Because you're creating a new ranking system that doesn't exist. It's subjective. You can't go to NBA.com and find out by position who is the best blocks per game player. It doesn't exist. The NBA don't do it by position. You guys are creating.
BasketballReference.com.
No, it doesn't do it on Basketball Reference either. You got to go to StatMuse to do it. StatMuse will give you by positional ranking, and they don't have an actual ranking number. They just give you the actual, and it says 0.8, and they list everybody with 0.8. And y'all gonna say, oh, there's guys in front of him, but they all have 0.8. And there's a bunch of guys who has 0.9, and a bunch of guys who has like 1 and 1.1. Like you guys are being disingenuous with that argument because Jordan is not top 5 in all those categories as well. When I tell you that, you be like, no, he is. He's not. But that's the point. You guys are using stats disingenuously. Why are you using a competitive ranking instead of a dense ranking system, which would make all of them who are equal the equal ranking? They don't make no sense.
Because somebody actually did the math and figured it out. It just
no.
Travis, well, let me ask Travis a question. So, you're saying that Michael Jordan is third all time in what rebounds for his position? Is that what you said?
Game for his position
per game. So you said do that make him a better rebounder than LeBron James?
Head to head, no, because again, there's a difference in size, position.
Okay.
But I'm saying, if he's better at his position in getting rebounds than LeBron James is. So
does that part boost him above LeBron James?
No, I'm just saying it's part of the perspective. It's not somebody that boosts above it. Just saying, okay, well, in perspective, this is what I would call dominating your position at a certain aspect. No, like that alone doesn't do it, but it's just a piece of the puzzle. If you want to talk about the profile of every player,
does it help though?
It helps.
Does it help in the versus battle? So, are you saying Michael Jordan's a better? Like, would you put Michael Jordan above Dwight Howard? Because Dwight Howard's not third in his position as a rebounder, and he's a lot better rebounder than Michael Jordan.
So again, this is when you say it's about position. You can't compare a guard to a center when it's rebound. Just like I would never say Steve Nash versus Bill Russell in assists. Like you can't really do that.
So why do we do that? Why we do that for points per game and steals per game?
Yeah, why we do that way
Because
then?
some stats aren't really that dependent on your position. Steals per game, or not steals per game, but assists per game, they can be led by anyone. You see Jokic.
No. LeBron and Larry Bird are the only non-guards that lead in assists per game in top 50 in NBA history. That's facts. That's a guard stat. Steals is a guard stat.
Okay.
Why is
LeBron
held for not being able to steal the ball as well as Jordan? Although he has over 2,000 steals for his career, he has over 1.5 steals for his career. That's what he averages, 1.5 steals per game. Why is he being knocked? Because Jordan's a guard who should have more steals and actually have more points because he's a shooting guard.
You're not being knocked. I mean, I'm not, like I said, NMB may knock him, but when you talk to people who are just objective, it's not a knock. I think for his position, it's great. But like I said, some positions, again, stats are just, they're way easier to keep. Like, okay, when I say who's the better passer, Jerry West or Draymond Green, what would you say?
Well, I would always go down to the actual to the amount of assists you were able to who has the most assists.
Jerry West has 7.1. Draymond Green has 5.
I don't go by the average because who has the more assists for their careers?
Obviously, Jerry West does.
Okay, so Jerry West is the better passer.
Okay, I disagree. Draymond Green is number 1 in power forwards all-time assist average, and Jerry West is 28th for point guards, and he initiates 88% of his team's offense, while Draymond Green does at 71%. But Draymond Green still has better on average, when you're going to talk when he's on the floor, he's the better passer than Jerry West. Accumulations don't matter.
So Jerry West's assist title don't matter?
He's what?
His assist title don't matter?
His assists matter, but I mean,
he has an assist title. He has an assist title. So Draymond doesn't have one. You would say he's better
just because he has more overall.
No, I mean he has more assists. He has an assist title. Draymond Green doesn't have that. Draymond Green averaged more than 7 assists per game for his career. No,
so I'm saying at his position, Draymond Green is the best at passing and getting assists. Jerry West isn't even. He's barely top 30.
But that's what it said. That doesn't make.
That's about perspective.
No, it's not perspective. That perspective is horrible. Draymond Green cannot be a better passer than somebody because at his position, because his position was not good at passing. You're comparing Draymond Green. That's what another thing that was crazy. It's just like comparing the eras. Because Draymond Green could dominate in passing and power forward does not make him better than the guy who played in his position as a point guard. Like we can't give Jordan credit for. You can't credit Jordan for winning a scoring title versus a bunch of guys who can't score 30 points per game, while LeBron is playing against a bunch of guys who can score 30 points per game.
I mean, a bunch of guys is doing it, but like, listen.
Yes,
so Jerry West. The point is, Jerry West, again, for his position, was just okay. Even though, and again, he's getting more assists because he's handling the ball a lot more. He's initiating a lot more. It's just cumulative that way. He's not necessarily good at it. Draymond Green is good at it. That's what I'm saying. He's a better passer, and like for his sample size, he gets more assists and everything than Jerry West. That's why he's a better overall passer and initiator than Jerry West was. He does it better with lower volume. So he's number 1. That's like I say. You can say Bill Russell again is, like I said, I wouldn't say he's a better or he's the worst passer in the Steve Nash because he has fewer assists.
Let me ask a question. Who's number 1 in small forwards in assists per game?
Small forwards assists per game, I believe that was
LeBron James. Small forwards, it's LeBron James. So that means LeBron James.
Is that LeBron? So is he a better passer than John Stockton? Because he's number 2 with point guards in his position per game.
I would say it's close, but I'd have to give it to LeBron as far as in your position. But it's tough because
he's being consistent. He's being consistent. He's the greatest point guard.
You are standing 10. So you just basically proved our point that LeBron James is a better offensive player than Jordan, right? Because Jordan's probably the better scorer, but LeBron's the better passer, right? Because that was another thing in the debate. LeBron's the better passer, and even on defense. The thing about defense that bothers me is that you guys bring up the all defense selection and defensive player of the year, but the NBA had to change how they vote for the all defensive team because the media wouldn't vote for LeBron James as a defensive player of the year. So LeBron James, that's what happened because 2 years in a row, LeBron James was voted number 1 by the coaches as far as defensive for his position, right? And he was number 1 total in 2012 as far as number 1 total votes in first place by the coaches. But those same 2 seasons, 2 players that didn't make the all-defensive first team by the coaches won Defensive Player of the Year. And in fact, Marc Gasol wasn't even top 3 in center votes in all defensive selections in 2013 and still got the Defensive Player of the Year. So that's why LeBron doesn't have more than 6 all-defensive teams and he has no Defensive Player of the Year, because the media refuses to see LeBron James as a defender the same way Michael Jordan fans say that LeBron James is not a great defender.
Sure, but Marc Gasol also beat him in blocks, box plus minus, and defensive win shares that entire season, and he was number 1 in those categories.
None of those categories are used.
Marc Gasol wasn't even top 10 in blocks for centers.
Thank you.
So he wasn't even.
But he beat LeBron in that. That's the thing.
He averaged less steals, less rebounds. Like, he wasn't even close to LeBron. He played on a great team. He wasn't even the second best defender, first or second best defender on his team.
The same metrics should have gave it to LeBron in 2012. That's what you guys keep failing. The same metrics you're trying to give it to Marc Gasol in 2013, LeBron should have gotten over Chandler in 2012, and he was voted by the coaches both seasons as the number 1 defender in the league. The coaches said they had to change it. They said after 2013, they said the coaches, you're no longer allowed to vote for this. We're just going to let the media vote for the all-defensive team and the Defensive Player of the Year award. And that's when LeBron James no longer got a first team. He got 1 more second team, and he never made the all-defensive team ever again. And he still got voted top 5 in Defensive Player of the Year. And it's because of the media. Because
the media is not going to let LeBron get Defensive Player of the Year. Simple as that.
It's just that simple.
So I don't think that LeBron ever deserved Defensive Player of the Year. He was up there, but I think the numbers bear it out.
And he's top 5. He's top 5 in first teams. He's top 5 in all defensive first teams in NBA history. And he did that within the first 10 years of his NBA career. Okay? So he didn't need longevity to do it. You understand what I'm trying to say? Mm-hmm. So this idea that LeBron's not a two-way player like Jordan is preposterous. And we already proved that LeBron's the better offensive player and the better defensive player. And that's
I don't think he's a better defensive player. But.
He's better. And listen, if 200 steals and 100 blocks matter, then 2,000 steals and 1,000 blocks should matter. That's what LeBron has. Only he, Hakeem Olajuwon, and Karl Malone have those numbers. That's facts.
All right, let's go ahead and move on.
Let's move on. We moved on.
Part. Yeah.
Travis came prepared today.
I know. Travis.
So again, this is why I knew my opponents wouldn't agree, but that's fine. I'm mainly talking to the people. Accumulation is really their entire argument. And it's funny they bring up value over replacement as well as win shares because they are accumulative. Win shares per 48, we all know who wins. Michael Jordan has the best win shares per 48 all time. LeBron James is 8th all time. What about their best season? Michael Jordan has 7 of the top 50 win shares per 48, 4 in the top 25. He is number 1 all time in the playoffs per 48. You look at value over replacement. Michael Jordan has 7 of the top 15 value over replacement seasons in the history of the NBA. And again, so the other thing was he wanted to talk about we can even look at his own competition list. I wanted to bring this up. Oh, yeah, blocks per game. Jordan is better blocks per game when you do it. When you actually break it down by game, he has over 0.8. LeBron has under 0.8. The thing is that they just round it up, so the 0.8 is all you see. If you actually do the math, Michael Jordan actually has more blocks per game for his career and playoffs combined. Also, you looked at your competition tree, right? And what you don't seem to ever bring up is that LeBron has played 55% more playoff series than Michael Jordan. Again, even in the 53 series compared to Michael Jordan's 37, I think I brought this up. 73% of the time he plays over 50-win teams. 53% of the time LeBron has played a 50-win team. He is cakewalking his way in the Eastern Conference to the finals, which also, if you look up any average SRS score, it would tell you this. But on average, Michael Jordan played more All-Stars, more defensive selections, more Sixth Man of the Year, more MVPs, more runner-up MVPs. All of this is a tougher competition, and Michael Jordan still won more, did more, produced more, and led more than LeBron has in any of these categories for any year or on average. Rebounds and assists is about all you've got. Again, other people do not really care about accumulation, especially when we're looking at 11 to 13-year career. Again, longevity is impressive. That's nice. And one thing I also found funny is that you said Jordan wasn't there for his team. Neither is LeBron when he's team hopping, trying to join up with 2 other all-stars so he can ring chase Jordan trying to get to 6. LeBron is only on your team for as long as he's happy. And as long as he gets his way and a decision is made by him, then sure, he's on your team. Don't step on his toes. Don't make a move he doesn't like. Or if a better opportunity comes along, he's gone. So I think it's funny that you say Michael Jordan was never there when he organically built a team instead of inorganically joining up with other all-stars across the league. LeBron is not there for his team any more than Jordan wasn't.
So as you can see, he kind of flailed out quick. He said that I wasn't going to accept his information. So instead of him rebutting whatever I came up with in my second round, he just said, "Forget, I'm just going to go on my soliloquy." He had nothing to say. He even went off to narratives about team hopping and all this other crazy stuff. But he brought up a bunch of things that were just not true. They love to bring up the accumulation argument. Again, even in 15 seasons, LeBron James trumps Michael Jordan in plenty categories, and he trumps him in all overall categories in general. They don't want to accept it. They really do not want to accept it. They really want to cut LeBron James' career down and exclude careers. If I'm the exposer, they are the excluders. They love to just exclude shit. They just exclude shit left and right. I mean, it's hilarious. There's so many things he said wrong, and it's even like the 50-win team conversation. He wants to give Jordan credit for being an 8th seed and playing a 60-win team. He wants to give Jordan credit for beating 50-win teams when Jordan had 60-win teams. Like, that's what he wants to give Jordan credit for. Again, LeBron beat more teams that had a better record than his team than Jordan's team. So that shows you how much more competition LeBron had, because he faced a lot more teams that were better than LeBron's teams, than his own team. That's what people don't want to get. So he just lied about a bunch of things. And I'm going to get to the competition thing. When he talked about the competition, the averages, he kept talking about the averages. He lost steam. He couldn't understand the averages. The blocks per game, again, he said they just rounded up. There's a reason why the NBA says we want to go by the 10th place. Who are you guys to say the 10th place doesn't matter over the 100th place? Who are you guys to say that? Answer that question, Travis, because you're the Jordan fan. Why do you get to say the NBA doesn't get to round up?
I mean, it's not my place to say they don't get you. I just think it's a little bit disingenuous. I mean, if you're just going to round up, then I mean, you got to do that for every stat, right? Then in that case, is LeBron number 1 in assists? There's a ton of players that are
no. Why is the NBA being disingenuous by rounding to the 10th place on their stats?
Because I think it takes away from actual true. Because you're not going to have, very rarely do you have players that just blow other players out of the water with specific stats. And like they can end up being pretty close. I don't think that's something that you see every single time. And
no, Travis, my question is, why is it better for the NBA to say it's 30.112 and 30.07 than it's not to just say 30.1? Why do they have to include the 100th place in their stats? Why should they include it? There's no stat that they do it in. None at all.
It's more accurate that way.
How is it more accurate? How are you determining what's more accurate to the NBA?
So you're saying that if somebody statistically has a higher percentage of stat, even if it's for a couple of decimal places, then you're saying that doesn't actually count because it should just be ignored and rounded up.
No, I'm saying it doesn't count because the NBA rounds it up to a certain number and tells you this is the number that counts.
Yeah, exactly.
They tell you our official stat goes to the 10th place. We don't recognize the numbers afterwards. The NBA is telling you they don't recognize the 100th place.
Well, so I mean that's not my call. So I mean, if they do it, then that's something we have to respect. But I mean, I just think that when you're talking about players who have very identical stats or very close stats, and you're talking about you want to be a little bit more accurate, I think that would be a better way to do it. But again, it's not my call, so we have to just go by what they do.
But that's what they decided. That's why they did the 10th place. That's why they didn't make it a whole number, because they're not going to just say you average 27 points per game. It's 27.2. So if you average 27.3, it's higher. 27. That's the fraction that you want to have. They gave you the 10th place for that. You're mad because that's not enough. Why every time Jordan is not enough, you want to add extra?
I didn't say it's not enough. I'm just saying I think it's a better way of doing it.
So it's 0.8 blocks per game, right?
Yeah.
Right? And he's going to mention how even for their careers, it's the same thing. It's going to be 0.8 blocks per game for their entire career between both of them.
I'm perfectly okay with
but
having
LeBron's going to have over 200, I think almost 300 more blocks in total than Jordan has for his career. or
Yeah,
if
but
you
it
add
also
playoff
took
and
what,
regular
like 6
season.
years. It took him like another year to do that or something.
Doesn't matter
Right.
how many years it takes him to do that. LeBron has to do everything on the basketball court. He's not just sitting around blocking shots for 6'3" guys. Because like I think Jordan's blocking a bunch of 6'3" guys shots. LeBron's playing in an era where they're shooting 3-pointers more, where it's harder to block the shots. There's not too many guys going to the rim, and there's a lot of guys shooting jumpers. It's hard to block somebody's jumper. It's not the
To
same
be
as
fair, that
Jordan.
didn't start till 13 years into LeBron's career, but okay.
Well, no, I mean they've been shooting 3-pointers since 2012, 2013 in the NBA.
Sure, but not at the same rate.
I'm just saying it's been going up since then, and it's super high since then. They've been shooting like that's 10 years of LeBron. Remember, we're in 2023, folks. It's about to be 2024 in a week.
So Travis, I have a question. Why is Kobe Bryant blocked so low since he's the same size as Jordan? He averaged, I think, like
Whoa.
0.4 a game.
Oh, sorry, guys. Your mic's just like zagged out there for a second.
And he said, why is Kobe Bryant's blocks per game so low since he's 6'6" like Michael Jordan?
I mean, that's just, I mean, in my opinion, it's just kind of like that wasn't really Kobe's game or his bag. I mean, he was good. He was good on
go
ball
ahead and say
defender.
it. You can go ahead and say it. We all know why.
He was a good on ball defender, but I think he was, if anything, he was a little bit
It's
overrated
hard,
defensively. But
no,
then again,
it's a lot harder to block players like Vince Carter, Tracy McGrady than Craig Elo and Danny Ainge.
It's the truth.
That's why.
Percy
That's
Hawkins,
why.
Brian Scott. Like he had played against a bunch of guys that are not John Starks.
I mean,
Yeah,
if we're talking about just your numbers.
Yeah, I mean, again, there were the Clyde Drexlers, there were the Reggie Millers, but we don't see Michael Jordan blocking Reggie Miller shots. We see Jordan and a lot of
Jordan really guarding Reggie Miller. He ran around screens. Jordan didn't have time to guard him. He told
Jordan,
Ron Harper and Pippen guard him.
And Jordan blocked a lot of shots as a block helper, coming from behind on offenses, knowing that a
that's the argument that I never really say, because if you want to by sheer numbers, point or shooting guards and small forwards actually scored more in Jordan's era, which was 85 to 2003, than they do now, which was from 03 to current day at 11.4 to 10.7. So you're talking about sheer production. Jordan was facing slightly more production on both sides of the ball, or from shooting guards and small forwards, than LeBron does. Now, if we want to talk about why that is, I think there's a little more production coming off the bench. They spread the ball around a little bit more. But LeBron, we can't just talk about I wouldn't say that LeBron or Mike was going up against Mitch Richmond 82 games a year. LeBron's not facing Kevin Durant. They're both facing bottom tier players at their position they're trying to guard. Does LeBron face better competition 3, 4, 5 times a year at his position? Sure, 100%. Durant better than any small forward Mike ever faced, and shooting guard for that matter. Kawhi, probably the same deal, aside from production-wise, maybe Clyde Drexler are similar. But I would say he's better defensively, though, for sure. But I'm saying that's a very disingenuous thing to say they face better positions at their play, because they're playing bottom of the barrel. Like, very few times you're going to get the small forward, the main guy on every single team. It just doesn't happen that way.
Yeah, but
So that's kind of ridiculous. So, would you say Kobe Bryant's a better defender than LeBron James? Because he do have 13 all defensive teams and 9 first team defensives.
No, I think the metrics actually say that LeBron's a better defender, because he beats him in blocks plus minus defensively. He beats him in defensive win shares overall. And it's not even close. Even within that same period of time, he smokes Kobe in almost every defensive metric. He has him in steals and blocks. There's no case to be made that Kobe was a better defender than LeBron.
So the all defensive teams never really matter, even with Jordan.
They matter.
And,
Like I said, it's not the
in like your mind, they don't really matter, because do you know what Kobe's defensive block plus or minus is, Johnny?
it's lower than LeBron's.
Yeah, it's like 1.
So you have no idea what it is.
No,
I looked it up the other day. It's like 1.
It is negative 0.1.
Negative 0.1, yeah. So it's way lower.
Wow.
Kobe's defensive box plus minus is negative
0.1.
Yeah. To be fair, though, context, he should have retired when he got injured. The last 3 years of his career decimated almost all of his defensive ratings. So, no excuse, just saying.
Wait a minute. Kobe's defensive box plus minus is negative? I didn't see
You-
13 all defensive team player negative.
No way.
Yeah, I actually posted something that LeBron, every defensive metric is LeBron James over Kobe Bryant. Every single one. And for everyone in the chat, we are going to put up a link as soon as we finish.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Let's get it going because we got. As you can see, he lost some steam there. Travis is defending him to his best.
Yeah, he's just making up stuff.
Travis,
Nick
man.
is just making up stuff.
Shout
Yeah,
out to
Travis
Travis.
is trying his hardest to help him.
But just to round it off, his round one, NMB was talking about dominating the league and being dominant in your league in your era. Then he talked about averages and Jordan being a two-way player in the second round. The third round, he basically was like, you know what? I'm done arguing with Johnny. He's bringing too much facts. I'm just going to stick to the script. So he started talking about accumulation versus dominance, and he's talked about analytics and player competition. He started talking about competition and team hopping and organic team versus inorganic teams. So let's go to fourth round because I was on point. I didn't need a script. I just needed. This is where I really killed them when I brought some real information up. And this is watch his response here. Go ahead.
Yeah. Well, one thing Nick actually was reading from a script. And his script ran out in round 2, I believe. And then he just went off his head. He just went off his head because
he had a final round. You're gonna find out right now. He had a final round script, and he wanted to make sure that like you said, he ran out of everything before the final round. He was out of material after round 2. But you'll hear him now because he's gonna ask if this is the final round, so he can read off his script. But it wasn't. Listen to it. Listen. It's hilarious.
Is this the last round?
No, we got 2 more.
Yep. Okay, so we could even, if you wanted to, we could look at through 1,072 games, which I think is a good enough sample size, right? Jordan had more points, he had more offensive rebounds, more steals, more blocks, more points per game. He essentially had more win shares per game. He obviously had more titles, the most important thing. We had more all-stars at that time. He also had more all-defensive first teams. So again, even if we just look at the 1,072 games, Jordan was better all the way through his career than LeBron has, and he hasn't been better after those 1,072 games. So that's out of the question as well. So again, if you want it, this is and again, a lot of people talk about one of the thing I want to bring up is someone who did he guard, right? Who did Jordan guard? I know you guys love the Andre Iguodala block. For some reason, that makes him a good defender. Even though Jordan has more steals and blocks than LeBron, somehow you throw that out. Jordan even averages more categories than LeBron. But again, one of the things I want to talk about before I get to the last round, right? I've already gone through. They faced harder competition, and Jordan still did better. He beats him in 3 out of the 5 main categories, essentially. He's got more times leading the league and dominating the league. That is a sign of how good you are. The awards and the metrics are all about how good you are. It points to how dominant you were in your time, right? That is why we bring it up.
You're on mute, Brandon. You're on mute, Brandon.
Yeah, this dude literally said nothing for about 2 minutes, going back and forth. Nothing for 2 minutes.
No, listen. He like I said, he ran out of steam. He brought up the who Jordan guarded because he thought that we were going to bring up who has Michael Jordan guarded. Has Michael Jordan shut down anybody? He thought that was going to be something we brought up, and I didn't bring it up yet. I was 9 minutes into my debate, and I have yet to bring up Michael Jordan can't guard nobody. I didn't even discredit Jordan at all throughout the debate. So it was hilarious. He brought that up. It was script though. He knew it. He thought he needed to use it. I need to use it. They're going to bring up Magic Johnson and Drexler. He had to bring it up. It was hilarious. Well, go ahead.
You want to bring up totals, that's fine. Jordan has about as many 40-point games shooting over 60% than LeBron has 40-point games in his career. He has the highest game score of all time.
Pause it. That is not true. Michael Jordan has 63 games where he has over 60% shooting in his career. LeBron James has a total of 75 games, including last night, where he scored 40 points per game. And LeBron James' field goal percentage in those games is 58.8. So LeBron James basically shoots close to 60% in the 75 games that he has 40 points per game in. And he also shoots 50% from three-point land in those games as well. So that was a lie. He does not have more 40-point games shooting 60% than LeBron James has 40-point games in general. So that's a lie.
Percent from 3 yesterday.
Yeah, go ahead. Go ahead.
More of them overall. There is no doubt that Jordan simply produced more and was more dominant during his time. He's a better two-way player on the defensive end. It's obvious. If we want to look at some basic stats on the offensive end, although it's a lot closer, he's a better shooter. He's more clutch. He has a more complete game. He does more on the offensive end as well. We can even use all the awards and stats you want. It doesn't really matter. It still goes in Jordan's favor. But I know one thing I want to get out of the way, right? We talk about defense, right? Talk about who did MJ guard in the 91. This all stems from the 91 finals whenever Pippen switched over to Magic, right? And what people don't know is Pippen had a good game or two on Magic, but he also cooked Pippen from time to time. And when Jordan guarded him after that first game or two, he actually guarded Magic Johnson in overtime and held him absolutely 0 for 0 for 0 for 0 in one turnover. Again, Clyde Drexler, he made him have an 8% drop in his shooting statistics. Isaiah Thomas, he held him to 6% below his average. They only had 0.79 points per play against Jordan in the Eastern Conference Finals whenever they played him. Jordan is by far a better defender. I can't believe people even make that argument.
Brandon, did you hear that?
Just rattling off made up numbers.
Yo, did he say Michael Jordan held the Detroit Pistons to 0.79 points per play in the Eastern Conference Finals? Which finals did
rambling.
What stat is that?
What do you mean? I didn't even know what he meant by that.
He's just rattling off stuff.
Wow, that was crazy. Okay, so listen, like I told y'all, he lost steam. So he started with the 1072 things. If we went to 1072, we had this argument before. Again, if we go by LeBron James, 1,072 games played, you are removing an entire season from LeBron James' career. And now you are giving Jordan a 15-year career to LeBron's 14 years. So you have to use longevity to make Michael Jordan better than LeBron when you go by the games played. And then he lied about the amount of all-stars and everything. Because you lowered the amount of the amount of all-stars LeBron had, which is still 13 to Jordan's 14. And Jordan got one of his all-stars in 1986, the year that they don't like to count. Mind that. That's the year he doesn't like to count. He said it's the full 11 years or 13 prime years or whatever it was, right? Because in 13 prime years, Jordan doesn't have 14 all-stars. He has 11 as well, because Jordan had 2 all-stars in Washington. So all these things that he was saying was like complete lies, and he just started throwing out numbers that were completely fake. I already brought up all the kind of stuff that he was lying about. He brought up the Magic Johnson and Drexler thing. Drexler averaged 25 points per game that season. He averaged 25 points per game against Michael Jordan. He did shoot 47% in the regular season and shot 41 against Michael, so that was less. But he went to the free throw line more, which shows that Jordan couldn't even guard him because they had to foul him more. That's how he averaged the 25 points per game. He averaged 25, 8, and 5 for that series. Jordan did not shut down Clyde Drexler. He didn't shut down Magic Johnson. He did stick Magic Johnson for that series, but he didn't. Like all these things, he gave Jordan credit for his teammates and what all the things that Jordan team did, not what Jordan did. And again, we already proved that Jordan doesn't have the better career. So he was supposed to prove that Jordan was the better player. He didn't do that because he kept giving Jordan credit for what the team did. How did Jordan shut down the Detroit Pistons? Jordan was playing 1-on-5 on defense?
Yeah.
I think you said Isaiah Thomas. I could be wrong.
Say he shut down Isaiah Thomas too. So
no, there was some series where Isaiah Thomas went off. His field goal percentage was bad, but he went off. In 88, Isaiah Thomas went off. 89, Isaiah Thomas went off. And I believe in 89, Isaiah Thomas didn't go off, but he didn't shut him down 6% or 6 less points. I don't think that was the factor. He could have said that about maybe Dumars. I think Dumars had a bad series in one of those series, but they don't know because they don't know Michael Jordan's number. They're just rambling a bunch of stuff because
he's just making up numbers.
Yeah, he was just making up the game score, the number one game score Jordan had. That's just one game. So because Jordan had one of the greatest games of all time, that makes it better than LeBron. Like, how does that factor in? Like, you see what I'm trying to say? But the 100-point game supposedly doesn't count. That was never.
And you
recorded.
see all the stuff he's just making up and saying, and they really believe that he made the best case ever. Why Michael Jordan's the GOAT? They're just making up stuff that don't even make sense.
They had to because he was going up against the exposer. It was like, please, Nick, please get the exposer. Nick, please get him. Shut him down.
All right. Let's go to the last round so we can get some people in here to. All right.
Yeah.
Last round.
It's rich hearing a LeBron fan complain about the 4 All-Stars on the Warriors when essentially that was a product because of LeBron going to Miami. Many people said that, and even
You could go ahead and explain that part right now because they're not going to hear what you said about the four
Yeah.
All-Stars.
Yeah, so you remember he was bringing up the competition, and I was trying to explain to him how LeBron did face tougher competition. I brought up that Jordan never faced a team with 4 All-Stars. LeBron has faced 5 teams that had 4 All-Stars on the roster in the same year. Jordan's never faced that. LeBron's beaten 2 teams like that. So I just brought up that LeBron's faced tougher competition. LeBron's faced a team with 3 All-NBA players on the same roster. Jordan never did. So he thought we were talking about the Warriors because he thought the Warriors was the only team that had 4. But I brought up that Boston Celtics had one in 2011. They had 4 All-Stars on that roster, and the 2015 Hawks had 4 All-Stars on their rosters, and LeBron beat them as well. Plus, I got a graph after all of this to show y'all exactly who faced the tougher competition. I'm going to expose this today. We're about to have a fun show. I got joints ready to go. Merry Kwanzaa, Happy Christmas, Happy Holidays, y'all. GOAT James Kingdom. Go ahead.
Durant halfway admitted that himself. If LeBron could go join up and chase rings, why can't Durant? And he's just mad that the game that he started got turned on him. So you don't get a pass for that one, right? You started something and then you couldn't finish it.
Oh, I did finish
also,
it.
I wanted to talk about LeBron has never faced a team with 2 first-team All-NBAs on it, which Jordan did in 1987, I believe. And I wanted to compare Jordan's first 3 years in the first 3 rounds versus the first 5 finals teams that LeBron faced. In those first 3 rounds, Jordan faced 3 All-NBA first team, 3 All-NBA second.
Okay, you see how he's going to use the competition? He's going to use Jordan's first 3 years in the playoffs, where he got swept twice and only won 1 playoff game, to LeBron James in the finals competition. He's going to ignore LeBron James having to win all 5, having to win 15 series to talk about 5 series to say Jordan faced tougher competition. That's how they disingenuous they are in the argument. They said, if I'm the exposer, they are the excluders. Go ahead.
Team. There wasn't a third team yet for the first 4 years of Jordan's career, by the way. In the first 5 all-defensive teams, 1 all-defensive second team, 1 6-man of the year, 1 MVP. In LeBron in those same years, right, in terms of being his first 5 finals opponents, 3 All-NBA first team, 4 All-NBA second team, 3 All-NBA defensive first team, 3 all-defensive second team, 1 6-man of the year, 1 runner-up MVP. You want to talk about who they played against and why it's not fair and all of this stuff? It's not even close that on average, I already went over your own competition list and use your own numbers. We do not care about the total times you face people in 57 playoff series, right? 53, sorry. We want to know on average how many teams did they face. It's also not Jordan's fault that he had the best team and the best record. That's part of your job as a player. It's not my fault that LeBron was never the best team, essentially. He easily had the easiest SRS on average between him and Jordan, cakewalking his way to the finals. And essentially the strength of who we played overall is not even close, using your own metrics on average. Playing 55% more playoff series and accumulating more competition or all-stars or however you want to put it isn't as impressive as someone who, by the way, even if you did say you face more, on average he's facing less and has won less still in 20 years, still can't get to the same heights that Jordan did. Jordan on average faced better teams, stronger SRS, better players, even by your own competition metric. And the last thing I wanted to say is that in your competition metric, right, as I mentioned, he faced a harder average on all of those things. And although he didn't face the actual assist, rebound, or blocks leader like LeBron did, I know you like that one, MJ faced a higher average of 20 point per game scores, 10 rebound per game rebounders, 10 assists per game, 2 steals per game, and 2 blocks per game on your list. When you also look at who got second behind Jordan, it's not Jordan's fault that he dominated the league in 13 categories 13 times and LeBron only did it twice.
Woo. You know what? I'm gonna give an applause for that one, because that one there, that was his. Listen, y'all, that was his final shot. That was the last move. That was his. What's it called? The Karate Kid move like this. Yeah, that was his last. That was he thought he had me on that one. He literally thought he had me on that one. I killed him on that one. Brandon, you got something to say before I expose this?
No, you go ahead and go.
Listen, he brought up the whole. This is the craziest thing about Jordan fans. he brought up the whole competition thing, and I already explained to him how we're talking about competition and what the team did doesn't make you the better basketball player. None of that makes you the better basketball player. But he brought about the averages. It's the same thing with the VORP. Jordan has 7 years where his VORP is dominant. But the other 8 years that Jordan played, they're very mediocre, if not very weak, right? So his overall VORP for his 15 seasons, even though it's great because of those 7 seasons, it's not as great as LeBron's because LeBron James doesn't just have 7 dominant seasons. He has 15 dominant seasons in VORP, right? So he said about the average competition. How are you going to give a team that has no all-stars, all-stars? So if LeBron James faced 4 all-stars during a playoff run, but 3 of those teams had no all-stars, am I going to say LeBron James faced 1 all-star per team? No, he faced a team with 4 all-stars and 3 teams with 0 all-stars. So you can't give a team all-stars that don't have all-stars. So going by average, they love to do the average, make up stats. You're making things up. It's about who you played. So if we want to go with the all-star situation, let's just start there first, right? Jordan played a team that had 3 all-stars or more 5 times. So that means 14% of the series that Jordan played in his career had 3 all-stars in them. LeBron faced a team that had 3 all-stars 4 times. So Jordan has him there because that's only 7%. But again, LeBron James has 5 series where he faced a team with 4 all-stars on it. Jordan didn't face no teams like that. So and we're going to use the all-star selections. LeBron James is on top of that, right? Then if we go to the teams that had no all-star selections, right? Jordan faced 2 teams that had no all-star selections. LeBron faced 5 teams that had no all-star selections. So as far as the all-star goes, by average, LeBron James faced less teams with all-stars on them. More teams that didn't have all-stars on, or less teams that had all-stars on them than Jordan. But he wanted to talk about the All-NBA. Jordan faced 7 teams that had 2 All-NBAs. That's 19% of his career. LeBron faced 10 teams with that. That's 19% of LeBron James' playoff series. So they're equal there. 2 all-defensive teams, which I agreed to him in the debate that's the only thing that Jordan had. 8 of the teams Jordan faced had 2 all-defensive selected players on the roster. That is 22% of Jordan's playoff series. LeBron's had 7 teams at that such, but that's only 13% of his playoff series. But Jordan never faced a team that had 3 all-NBA players on the roster. LeBron did twice. Okay, Jordan never faced a team that had 3 all-defensive players on the roster. LeBron did once. All right. If you want to go to the what's it called? This is the kicker. When you face a team that had more all-NBA players on their roster, Jordan only had that happen 5 times in his career. He's 0-5 in those series. LeBron James has had that happen 12 times where he went against a team that had more all-NBA selected players on their roster than LeBron James rosters. And he's 6-6 in those series. So Jordan's never faced the type of competition LeBron faced. He's facing teams that are tougher than his own team because he doesn't have the help that Michael Jordan had. Because you got to talk about the help. So 14% of Michael Jordan's series, he faced a team that had more all-NBA selected players than his team had. 23% of LeBron James' series were against teams that had more all-NBA players than his team. So all this thing that he wants to talk about, and this is the real kicker, Michael Jordan faced 8 teams that did not have all NBA selected players or all defensive selected players on their roster. He is 7-1 in those series. He lost one of those series. LeBron James has 9 series under those same categories and is undefeated in those series. So Jordan lost to a team that had no all NBA player, no all defensive player on their roster. That never happened to LeBron. So when he said even LeBron facing less competition and lost less, that's a false. LeBron won way much more, and I got all of that. Bring up the link for them so they can join, so we get some folks. I'm not done. Michael Jordan faced 11 teams that didn't have no all NBA players on their roster. That's 30% of his playoff series. LeBron had 17. That's 30% of his series, so they're equal there. All defensive teams, Jordan faced 14 teams that had no all defensive selections. That's 26. LeBron faced 23 teams that had no all defensive selections. That's 43%. So on the all defensive side, by average, Jordan did face more, right? But and when you talk about all NBA and the all league selections in general, it's LeBron James. And the all-stars Jordan did face in certain categories, as far as the 3 all-stars, but LeBron has the 4 all-star teams. Jordan doesn't have that. So all of that was just straight lies. And then he brought up the 20-point per game scores. 36 20-point per game scores Jordan faced. That's less than 1 per series. Right? And LeBron James faced 53 out of his 53 series. So that's actually a whole 1 per series. So there's a lot of things that he brought up that were just lies, and he was trying to use my metrics, which I will bring up shortly. So the link will come up, and if y'all want to talk about that, I got the graph to prove everything that I'm saying, because he went to my video and our video to try to prove me wrong, and he just got exposed again. Completely lied about all of that stuff, and he didn't do none of the research on his own. None of it on his own, besides looking up what I wrote. What you think, John?
Wow. I've listened to his whole soliloquy. I don't know how delusional you have to be to compare a 21-year player playing point guard to 11 games. I mean, I watched this. The reach for that was crazy, and you can tell he pays more attention to LeBron James than he does Michael Jordan, because he did bring up two people LeBron guarded, the block on Iguodala and D Rose, but not once did he bring up anybody that Jordan guarded, and then he pretended like y'all talked about who Jordan guarded, and y'all didn't actually bring that up yet when he brought it up. And I didn't even pay attention that it was so scripted how he was explaining himself until I just really watched it again. It was scripted. That's unbelievable. I mean,
and the script ran out.
And then to tell lies. That the number one kicker that always will kill me, when you have to lie to make Jordan look better.
Just to let y'all know, this is the graph. Put this graph up, Brandon. This is the graph that I used to talk about, that he was trying to use. This is the ultimate competition in graph. The red means you had less. Green means you had more than. The white means it's equal amount. So as you can see on the top, Jordan's help has more green than LeBron. He had less help in those categories. And then if you look down at the competition, you can see LeBron had to face more All NBA, more All Defensive Selections, more All Stars, more Sixth Man of the Years. I mean, more Defensive Player of the Years. All of this stuff. And I can break down series per series if we want to break it down. If anybody want to show up and have this conversation, we can do it right now.
Johnny, I just got one question. The MVPs. When Ron faced them, they had to already have won MVP.
These are actual MVPs for the season itself that they faced in the playoffs. So Jordan faced Karl Malone in the finals as an MVP. He faced Charles Barkley as a finals in the MVP, and he faced Bird in the playoffs as an MVP.
Okay,
those are three MVPs he faced. LeBron's faced Curry in the playoffs twice as an MVP, and I believe he faced, I forget who's the other guy. I forget who he faced in the playoff that was an MVP as well. In the playoffs. I can't remember right now, but there's a third guy. Now it's tough.
Rose.
Huh? Oh yeah, Derrick Rose. There you go, Derrick Rose. Derrick Rose. So those are the three that LeBron faced. 3 times. It was 2 players, if you want to say that. Jordan faced 3 different players.
I was just gonna bring up that OKC. That year they played them in the finals. Eventually, each one of them actually won an MVP. That's all I was gonna bring up.
Yeah, and mind you, LeBron had to guard Rose and Stephen Curry. Jordan didn't have to guard Barkley, nor did he have to guard Karl Malone, nor did he have to guard Bird when he went up against them.
Yeah.
So, again, he was right about Jordan facing the 2 all NBA first team players. It was 1987. It was McHale and Bird. But again, Jordan was the 8th seed. Why didn't Jordan, 1987, averaging 37 points per game, right, get his team above the 8th seed? Why were they only the 8th seed in 1987? Can any Jordan fan bring that up?
No.
And answer that question.
They'll tell you he had no help, but then try to discredit Scottie Pippen at the same time.
Help? I thought Jordan wins doesn't matter what, right? That's what I heard. I heard that he wins with less.
That's the story they'll try to tell you.
Because when we say LeBron James took his team to the playoffs and the finals, right? I can bring up this graph right here for you, right? If we bring up what LeBron James did in the playoffs, okay, for those playoff runs that they like to discredit LeBron James for and what the kind of help that he had. Bring this one up, Brandon, please. If we look at it, right, in 2007, he faced a team that had 2 All-Stars, 1 All-NBA player, and 1 20-point per game player. But we'll take that away because that was Gilbert Arenas, who didn't play in that series, right? Then he faced against New Jersey, who had an All-Star and an All-Defensive player and 1 20-point per game player, which was Vince Carter. But then he goes up against Detroit, who had 2 All-Stars, 1 All-NBA player, and 1 All-Defensive player. And then he faces San Antonio. So either way, LeBron James' team was not as good as any one of these teams. Jordan couldn't even win enough games. LeBron won, I think, 50 games in 07. So it's not LeBron James' fault that he's playing a team that won 41 games in the first round, a team that won 41 games in the second round, because he's the 3rd seed and Jordan wasn't in his 3rd NBA season or 4th NBA season. And even when go ahead.
So he get punished for being better.
Oh yeah, but then we can't do this, right? But we can't do this, right? But we can't say Jordan in his 4th NBA season, when he does win 50 games and faces a team like the Detroit Pistons and the Cleveland Cavaliers, and he chokes. But bring this one up, Brandon, please. Right here, 1988, Michael Jordan went up against a team that had 1 All-Star in the Cleveland Cavaliers, 1 20-point per game scorer, 1 2-block per game player. He blew them out. He averaged 45 points per game. He goes up against the next team, the Detroit Pistons. They had 1 All-Star, 1 20-point per game scorer, and 1 10 rebound per game player, and got beat 4-1 and choked in that series. This is the year that Michael Jordan, they said, had the incredible year. He was Defensive Player of the Year. He was League MVP, All-NBA, All-Defensive First Team. He was scoring champ and steals champ in 1988. So why couldn't Jordan get past this team like LeBron did to get to the finals, or at least face and get his rematch against Bird in '88? Why he lose against Detroit?
Versus a very small backcourt.
They're gonna bring up 4 Hall of Famers. They're gonna bring up, he had Dantley. It was him, Dantley. It was Isaiah Thomas, Dantley, Joe Dumars, and Rodman. And mind you, Joe Dumars was in his 3rd NBA season, and this was Rodman's 2nd NBA season. They're not all NBA players. They're not all defensive players. They're not all stars. They're not putting up any big numbers of any kind. Dennis Rodman's coming off the bench.
Yeah, I was just about Rodman wasn't even starting.
Exactly. So LeBron James has to go through Jason Kidd, Vince Carter, Antoine Jameson, Caron Butler, Chauncey Billups, Richard Hamilton. Then he faces Tim Duncan, Bruce Bowens, Tony Parker. So who faced tougher competition and was actually winning at least? You're gonna tell me Cleveland was better with Craig Elo, Ron Harper, and what was it, Mark Price in them?
No.
I mean, complete teams.
I see we have somebody in backstage who want to ask a question. So let me go ahead and bring them in.
Good morning, fellas.
All right,
Merry
this is
Christmas Eve.
Hello,
All right,
happy
same to you.
holidays. Peace.
I've been arguing with you guys for a little while. I know you know me.
You've been trying. You've been trying. But go.
Yeah,
but what question you got?
Where do we know you at? Where do we know you from?
Facebook.
Just the web
Facebook. Jesse
Finley.
Finley. Jesse Finley,
Sure.
Welcome to the show. Yay, y'all. Facebook troll from the beginning. Go ahead. What's your question, sir?
It's not a question, really. I mean, it is. So we measure all these things like statistics, right? We measure these things like all-star game appearances, right? These are facts. Can we measure things like how much better he made his teammates? No. We can't measure that. Can we measure how well a team plays as a team rather than just throwing all-stars together? We can't measure any of that, right? It makes the debate hard. Jordan made his teammates better. That's a fact.
Okay, how's that a fact when you say you can't measure it?
Yeah, you live
Yeah, exactly.
Exactly.
So how's that a fact?
So how are you gonna argue all these facts?
How's that a fact if you can't measure it?
Jordan's record 6-0 in the finals, right? Jordan scored 3,000 points in a season that he had 250 steals, 100 blocks, right? Over a
That's
2-year
sound like a good
span,
season.
Jordan had almost 6,000 points. He had 500 steals.
Okay.
He had 250 block shots.
Okay.
LeBron James never did anything even fucking close.
Is that making your teammate better, or are we just talking about what you did as a player?
Well, I mean, are we talking a team argument? Because I know you guys like to say, well, that's a team stat winning championships.
You brought it up.
You brought up championships. You first of all, you were supposed to ask a question. Then you brought up a statement that you actually exposed yourself on because you yourself stated that you can't make the measurement, but then you said it was a fact. Then when that didn't work for you, you switched to what Jordan did for one season in 1987. If Jordan is so great and makes his teammates better because of what he does on the basketball court, why in 1987 did he get swept in the first round and couldn't actually make a better seed than the 8th seed in 1987? The same year he did 3,000 points and the 250 steals and the 100 blocks. Why couldn't he get past the first round and why did he was on the 8th seed?
You flipping the script on the narrative.
No, it's not. I'm asking you a simple question.
Saying it's a team.
If Jordan,
it's now a team thing.
Wait. You said Jordan. You said it was factual that Jordan makes his teammates better. You brought up a year that Jordan was incredible in, which we didn't argue with. It was an incredible season. LeBron never did.
Good year.
Great season. But again, I asked you, with that season, with all that he did, why was his team only the 8th seed and got swept in the first round? If his impact of what he does, if that's his best season ever, it didn't impact to his team winning or made anybody on his team better.
You're completely focusing on Jordan now, and then the team. The argument
You're the one who said it.
The argument is LeBron and Jordan. Did LeBron ever do anything like that? And then if not, and you say that it was a great season.
No, LeBron has never got swept in the first round. Thanks for coming on, Jesse. It was great. All right.
Wait.
Terrence.
Go ahead, Terrence.
What question you have?
Well, I want to know why are you saying that LeBron just override Jordan? That's the first thing I need to know. Why would you say that? And Jordan stamp. He the one who started all this. He the one who the commercials, the tennis shoes they selling now, all that Jordan. Everybody trying to catch up to Jordan. Jordan is the lead by himself. LeBron got his own life. He the king. He have no equal. But Jordan look, and that's just how it is. That's what I see.
So because Jordan
hold on for one question. Everyone in the black backstage blue vote, we're gonna bring you on as soon as we answer each person's question, and then we're gonna bring you guys on as y'all can come up. Okay. So just wait you guys' turn. All right, go ahead, Johnny.
No, I'm just saying again, nobody denounces Michael Jordan's popularity, but Michael Jordan's popularity. Yeah, Michael Jordan's popularity doesn't make him the GOAT, doesn't make him the greatest basketball player, doesn't make him the better basketball player. Because you guys are enamored with Michael Jordan more than people are enamored with LeBron James, doesn't make him the GOAT, nor does it make him a better basketball player. Do you understand that? That is our stance.
Am I allowed to talk?
Yeah, I just gave you our answer.
And I can give you a rebuttal quick.
Okay.
All right, you go to talking about the game. Tell me what Jordan liking it. You know, I'm talking about his all-around game now. I ain't talking about on the court or nothing. I'm just talking about his all-around game.
3-point shooting.
Liking it.
3-point shooting.
Oh, man, come on. The only reason Jordan ain't shooting the three, because when they come through it, went no line. So he didn't come through with the line. But is he
lacking? No, Terrence. Is he lacking in 3-point shooting or not? Is it a lacking part of his game? Does he lack that?
No, he just can pull up. He what for? What? What am I shoot 3 for without the brain to pull up?
So he lacks that. So he lacks that part of the game. That part of the game does not exist for Jordan. We don't have to worry about Jordan shooting threes, correct?
You didn't see in the championship what it was.
What?
It's the time you shoot threes. You ain't got to shoot them all the time, but everybody knows Jordan can shoot 3. You didn't see a hand go up. Recognize.
No, we know that Jordan can't shoot threes. He shot less than 33% for his whole career.
Okay. He didn't shoot that much.
He still shot bad. That's not good.
But he didn't shoot that much because he didn't have to. But when
he lacked.
Did he make
So he lacks. That's lacking. We answered your question. He lacks in 3-point shooting. He lacks as an interior defender. He's not great in interior defense.
But he can't guard nobody.
He can't guard nobody in the post.
You can shoot him all day long. If you can't make him in the end, it don't matter.
There's no such thing as clutch time. If Jordan could make a 3-pointer in the finals, he can make a 3-pointer in the regular season. Next caller.
Huh?
If Jordan could make a 3-pointer in the finals, he can make it in the regular season. The finals don't matter more than anything else. Next caller.
All right, what's up, Blue Vote?
You hear us, Blue Vote? You up, brother? What's your question? Are you there?
He was
Blue,
there.
Blue Boat. All right, send him back to the backstage. Put yourself
All
in the
right.
comment. Who's next?
All right, next person.
There goes Sturdy. Oh,
All right.
peace. What up? Oh, Sturdy. What up, Sturdy? Hi.
Hey, salute everybody. It's been the first time I've been on this platform. I'm gonna keep it short and simple. And he knows that I'm not even a LeBron or a Jordan fan. But my only question is, what is the best argument that you guys heard objectively that would have made Jordan the GOAT? Because you guys have been doing this for a while. You guys talk to hundreds of Jordan's fans, not just on the internet, throughout y'all live. But like, there had to be somebody who came along who gave you like, you know what? That's the most objective, most logical argument I have for Jordan being the GOAT. Has there anyone who gave you one? And if so, what was it?
Great question, Sturdy, and I'll let Brandon answer that. Go ahead, Brandon.
I guess for me, the best answer that I probably ever got was that Jordan dominated his era. That's probably the greatest answer they have, that he dominated his era. And he did.
Is that objective?
He dominated the 90s.
No, is that objective though, Brandon? Is it objective?
No, but that's the only thing that I've heard that made sense, which is true. He dominated his era. And if you believe his era is the best, and he dominated, that's what it is. But other than that, not too much for me.
I'm gonna tell you, the only objective argument I heard, Sturdy, literally is the popularity thing. It is clearly, without any doubt, Michael Jordan is the greatest superstar sports icon in basketball ever. It's without a doubt that he is a superstar of all superstars. The standard that Terrence Mathis was just talking about is what he means as far as being the most adored athlete ever. Michael Jordan could piss in your cup and it's still going to smell like orange juice. That's how they see it. It just is. That's a graphic
way to say it.
I'm just no, bro, no, but literally when you hear them talk, that's how they talk about Michael Jordan. They talk about him.
Michael Jordan stopped crying when he was playing.
They listen, and they'll fight you. They'll come fly out if you talk about Michael Jordan objectively. So that's the only objective argument I heard, because legitimately there is no objective argument for Michael Jordan being the GOAT. He was bestowed that based off of popularity in 1991. That's it.
Well, then I'd like to thank you, brothers, for that. I just want to say this one more comment. You guys got a lot of Jordan fans to debunk after this. Just one quick comment, because one of the people I talk to sports with, he's a Celtics fan, and he doesn't have Jordan not even top 3. He has a number 4, right? But the way he broke it down to me made a lot of sense. So he has guys like Kareem, Russell, LeBron above Jordan because this primary reason. They were the common denominator to their team's success. Kareem won without Pat Riley and Magic Johnson. Bill Russell won without Bob Cousy, Havlicek, and Red Auerbach. And do I need to say anything about LeBron? Those guys were the common denominator to win their team's success. However, when it came to Jordan needed Phil Jackson to win. Jordan needed Pippen to win. And is any Jordan detractors that try to defer from that, Jordan said himself repeatedly in his Hall of Fame speech, even in his post-game speech out of some of his championships. So my question to you guys is that an objective enough take to justify that placement of Jordan?
It's a fact.
He was 4th on our objective criteria list. He ended up being number 4 as well, but we had Bill Russell at 5th, and Wilt was actually ahead in the top in that category. But by why that gentleman stated that, it stands 10 toes down. It's more concrete than most Jordan fans could make Jordan as the GOAT. So we always tell you, if you have your criteria, it should fit in. It should fall in line with it. And that's Jordan's problem. It never falls in line with their criteria. So
I'll talk to you sometime, Sturdy. I'll give you the objective breakdown if you really want.
Woo, Travis is ready.
All right. Let's go ahead and give.
Appreciate it, Sturdy. Thank you.
Y'all no problem, man.
Y'all check out Sturdy, man.
If y'all open the panel, I'll come back on again.
All right, appreciate it, man. You know we go live every Sunday, brother. Again, that's Sturdy.
Jordan.
I've seen him on other places. So appreciate you, Sturdy. Thank you. That was a great question. Blue Boat, you back?
Hey, my fault for the technical difficulties and everything, man. I apologize. I'm on my phone. I was going through some, certain place where I lose connection. But anyway, like I said, to me, it's like I'm like an observer. I'm just observing and taking in information. You guys are putting out information a lot of people don't know about when it pertains to this conversation. They just go by narratives. They just go by hearsay. They just go by the so-called eye test. But I feel like a lot of people are too lazy to do like all this research. You know what I mean? And actually put the truth out there. You know what I mean? But like I said, they're both great players in my estimation. You know what I mean? I appreciate both them dudes. You know what I mean? It's like a 1-1 thing for me. But I want to tell real quick. I want to discuss LeBron pertaining to other all-time greats. You got certain YouTubers out here, right? Now, in particular, have you heard of this guy's name? I'm not going to say his names, but you got some out here saying that Steph Curry, if Steph Curry wins another championship, he surpasses LeBron James. And LeBron James can't be in the same conversation or in the same boat with a Kobe Bryant and Tim Duncan. What is your rebuttal to that? If somebody would say that.
I guess for me, when we look at, I know they like to bring up how Steph Curry dominated LeBron James, but every time he played LeBron James, those 3 series that they talk about in the finals, Steph Curry was never the best player on his squad. He never won those finals MVPs, and he never had a better series than LeBron James. But without that, LeBron James has beat him in the playoffs. He did that last year. He has kept them out of the play-in. Did make the playoffs. I think that was 2021. So when you look at their career, I don't really think it's a question when the player that you want to prop up above LeBron was never the best player on his team at that point. No one put Scottie Pippen above Charles Barkley or Karl Malone because Pippen wasn't the best player in those series. So now we want to say Steph Curry is better than LeBron because he shoots three-pointers better. But when you look at the overall game, it's really not.
But then they go by superlatives like it's about winning. Fuck the stats, forget the stats, forget everything else. It's about winning, whether you win or lose in the end. You said they just dismiss the stats.
Yeah, but you know what, Blue Boat? I this is what I found out, and this is why you didn't want to mention the people who said that, but I'll mention these folks. FYF Sports Debate just the other day posted a graph showing between 2004 season to 2016 season, LeBron James has more MVPs, more championships, more finals appearances, more finals MVPs than Kobe Bryant. So can we say LeBron James dominated Kobe Bryant's era?
Hey, it's a fair question. That's a fair question, but they'll turn around and say LeBron didn't dominate his era because he didn't win all the championships. But yeah, they'll turn around and say Kobe and Tim Duncan dominated their era more than LeBron James did. Like what kind of sense is that? What kind of ass backwards logic is that? Like, what's your rebuttal to that?
Because they don't have no logic. They have no nonsense. Because if it is Stephen Curry's era, LeBron James won 4 championships on Stephen Curry's watch. So how is it still his era? They still think Stephen Curry's going to win another championship somehow. Them not realizing the NBA is getting better. Like Charles Barkley said, older players don't get better; they just get older. And Golden State's under 500 in today's NBA. So I don't know about that. I don't know about that.
Right. But they don't keep the same energy for Steph Curry. They don't.
Like they had Golden State doing better than the Lakers this year, even though the Lakers completely dominated them last year. The Lakers turned Steph Curry into an actual point guard, and we saw how that worked out. He's not able to actually run a team effectively. That's why they needed Draymond Green. And if Draymond Green is not there, it's hard for Steph Curry to beat Steph Curry.
Right. But what I'm saying is, like, what kills me is that they'll say, last thing before I leave, they'll say Kobe Bryant and Tim Duncan dominated their era more so than LeBron did. That's why they're better. You know what I mean? That's just all. That's the end all be all. They won, he lost.
That's all they got till we mentioned Bill Russell. So So all right, brother. Thanks for joining us. Y'all shout out.
Hold hold on real quick. I want to ask a question to the guy on the left, who's his top 5 all time. The guy on the right, is it the right or left of me, real quick? Who's his top 5 all time?
Travis, give us your top 5, please.
Mike, LeBron, Wilt, Bill, and Duncan.
Ooh. Nice. What makes you put LeBron over Kobe? I just want to know that.
Because he clears Kobe in every advanced metric. He has way better average than him.
Thank you.
And he has all around better resume.
Thank you. That's all I wanted to confirm. Just no disrespect to Kobe, but LeBron is just on another level, excluding Jordan, of course. But that's just me. All right, fellas, take it easy.
Yes, if you want the link, thank you. Appreciate it, Blue Boat. Thank you. If you want the link, you got to be watching the YouTube channel. It is the GOAT James Kingdom on YouTube. You guys make sure you hit that like button, subscribe button. Make sure you check out our perks as memberships as well. Shout out to everybody who is listening to us live on our Facebook group. We are officially at 65,000, y'all. 65,000 members on our Facebook group. Shout out to everybody who's a part of the Facebook membership. And shout out to TikTok and Instagram folks as well, and Twitter. So definitely, guys, hit the link if you want to join. And you can access anything regarding this debate that we had with with NMB. I'm looking to hear SFM in the comments getting cooked as well. But Travis, you just got praised for representing LeBron over Kobe. Again, Brandon and I are just trying to bring real facts up, man. That's all we're trying to do. We're trying to provide real information. And we just tired of the lies, man, because we can't watch basketball without lies. Now we got to talk about whose era it is. We don't even know who era is it? Is it Tim Duncan or Kobe's era? Which era is Tim Duncan and Kobe's era?
It's really Tim Duncan's era, but Kobe fans say that.
So Kobe led in scoring from 2000 to 2009, and also Kobe was facing much harder competition with less help.
Rapid fire, boy. Rapid fire. Don't get Travis started on Kobe. He gonna get you. He gonna get you on Kobe. Don't do it.
Kobe was the number 2 option for a lot of those years.
He still put up better numbers than Duncan ever did, even in his sidekick years.
Against second tier competition for Kobe, Duncan's getting everybody's best competition.
What?
Okay. Let me stop my trial.
Hey, SFN, hold on, wait. Before you go, we know you have a whole soliloquy. You have a whole speech you want to give us, but please give us a question at the end. Okay, go ahead, SFN.
Okay. It just was the thing about Tim Duncan. That's the only thing I had to come in. Like when I hear Tim Duncan and Kobe name, I don't even like it like near each other because. Like, let's just tell the truth, like about the 2000s. And I know Tim Duncan era. Kobe Bryant and Tim Duncan faced off in the playoffs in 2001, 2002, 2003, 2004, 2008. That's 5 times in the 2000s. Tim Duncan only managed to win 1 playoff series out of 5, which was in 2003. Now let's talk about the ones that they won with Shaq, because I know everybody gonna be like, "Oh, he had Shaq, right?" Keep in mind, Kobe Bryant led every series when they beat the Spurs. In 2001, he averaged 33, 7, and 7 on 51%. 2002, he averaged 26 points on 45% when Shaq had a struggle series where he was averaging 21 points and 44%. 2003, y'all got that, y'all won, but y'all failed to mention that Kobe came back and beat y'all in 2004 and led that series with 26 points as well and led the whole run up to that finals. Then in 2008, when you still had your big 3, sir, you just came off a championship. Andrew Bynum didn't play the whole series, and Trevor Ariza didn't play Game 5, and Kobe will still manage to beat you in a 4-1 series after he just came off 2 knee surgeries. And
Can I respond to him?
Believe he was still the only series that you really just won. That like
you're breaking in and out. You're breaking in and out.
Up the Lakers, but keep in mind, Shaq. You can hear me now. You can hear me.
Yeah, that last little thing you did, last 10 seconds was.
You can hear. You can hear me a little bit.
Yeah, we can hear you now. Go ahead.
Can you hear me now?
We can hear you.
Hear me now?
Yeah,
I'm just I'm just saying let's state the facts. Like '99, you won that series. Keep in mind, Shaq led that series. Shaq was that much impactful to what the winning was. Then we should have won the series when Shaq led it, right? But Shaq never led one series out of 5 that we met up. The 3 that him and Kobe met up with them. He never led one series. Kobe led every series on a high efficient. And speak of mind that 3 out of the 5 series that they met up in the 2000s against Tim Duncan, Kobe field goal percentage was higher. He just was the most, just a much better player. Like, and if we go for playoffs with Kobe Bryant, you feel me? He in the 2000s for the playoffs or the regular, he made tons of records that Tim Duncan didn't even reach. His numbers are better. He has more first team All NBAs. He has more first team defensive selections. Tim Duncan never had one series in his career where he led the league in anything statistically. We have a lot of top 10 players that have led the league in some statistics at least once or twice in their career. He never had that. He always had the best defense in the league. There's no question about that, sir. You feel me? We're arguably the best coach, but you can go on why do you think that he's the best player?
Well, we know one thing he lead them in. Who has the most MVPs regular season? We know that's Tim Duncan.
Yeah, that's by short.
You gonna let me speak? Yeah, I ain't say nothing.
Yeah, my fault. I'm sorry.
So, when you face teams with Shaq and Kobe, what do you think the team's objective was to stop the Lakers? Do you think that was Kobe Bryant, or do you think that was Shaquille O'Neal? Teams was trying to stop. No, we both know that.
Kobe and Shaq.
We ain't gonna do that. We know it was Shaq. Shaq was the best player. Shaq was the best player with the Lakers team. Everybody know it. It was clear as day. I ain't got to bring up no advanced stats or anything stats. If you watched the game, you knew who the team was trying to stop. Who was getting double, triple team. Who was getting fouled the most. We all know that. Tim Duncan, that was Tim Duncan's era. Kobe did some great things. I'm not doubting that. Tim Duncan never missed the playoffs once in his career. And Tim Duncan would never miss the playoffs in the middle of his prime, like Kobe did. So you can bring up, yes, everything you said that the Lakers beat San Antonio was all factual. But if you know the game itself, you know who they were trying to stop. They were trying to stop Shaq, and they were trying to stop Tim Duncan. Later, they was trying to stop Kobe.
All right, I can respond to that.
No, because you don't get a chance to debate people on our show. You get to debate on Friday Night Exposure. If you've won a one-on-one with anybody on our panel, no, that's fine. You had your chance. You gave a great speech. You brought up some facts, and he gave his response, and that's all that it is. But to add on top of that, to give you a chance, Kobe Bryant beating him 4 out of 5 playoff series doesn't make him the better player, because especially in 2003, Tim Duncan had one of the greatest NBA seasons of all time. I'm just even talking about advanced metrics or whatever. So 2003, Tim Duncan literally trumps any great year Kobe had in his career. So at the end of the day, Tim Duncan is a better basketball player than Kobe Bryant, career-wise and in general. He does more because he doesn't average the most points than somebody else, or rebounds or steals or nothing. Tim Duncan has the most all defensive selections. He has more all. Him and Kobe are tied in all NBA selections, but he's definitely way better than Kobe as far as being the defender of his team, anchor on the defensive side. Clearly, Tim Duncan passes Kobe Bryant. Kobe Bryant's great, top 10, but he's just not on Tim Duncan's level at all. So what is your question, SFM, about the debate? Did you see the debate between NMB and I?
Oh, yeah.
So what's your question to that debate? And then so we can let some other folks in.
My question is to that debate, like when y'all bring up the road, and then when y'all bring up to the competition, like why didn't y'all bring up the playoffs, like in the East? Like why y'all didn't just like y'all didn't talk about enough prom for prom? It's like why y'all didn't talk about just prom for prom?
Because the debate was who was the better basketball player. Bless you. The debate was who's the better basketball player. He already had submitted and admitted that the GOAT conversation was way above his head. He couldn't prove Michael Jordan was the GOAT to us. He already stated that. We exposed him on that when he tried to do that when we gave him his 5 minutes on our show. So the debate was who's the better basketball player between the two. The competition you face and what your team face has nothing to do about who's the better basketball player. Even on top of that, we already proved here, I just showed it to you here, LeBron faced tougher competition. Jordan didn't face the type of teams LeBron had to face to get to the championship.
That's a lie.
No, that's not. I just proved it to you. I just showed it to you. What year
You
you
didn't
want to
prove
bring
it
up?
to me.
What year did you want to bring up? What year you want to bring up? How
It's
you
not
want to do
what
this?
I don't have to bring up specific year. I could just bring up their competition in the road to winning the finals. I'm talking about the whole playoff run. I don't
Okay.
never like
Who did
I'm
the Bulls
not
face? Who did the Bulls face in 1991 playoff run? The 3 teams in the playoffs.
the playoff run. I couldn't tell you. I can't tell you. I think they did
So all right,
face the Knicks
so
that
that
year.
means you don't know for facts, and you came on
I
the
think
show
they
saying
did face the Knicks that year. But
no.
we can
Listen,
talk about the facts.
no, that's not no facts because you don't even know who they faced in that first the first 3 the first run.
Okay,
You don't even know who they faced.
we can talk about the Pacers.
We're not
and
gonna
the
do that.
Knicks.
You want to do that? Hold on. You want to do that? Come on Friday Night Exposure. Email me at goatjameskingdomshow@gmail.com. You and I will sit down and arrange a date, and we will have that one-on-one.
All right.
You want to do that?
Well, tell me who LeBron faced in that first and second round in 2007 to get to the finals.
I just told you that. Again, I just told you that. He faced against a team that had Gilbert Arenas, Caron Butler, and Antoine Jameson. Arenas didn't play, but the next series he faced Jason Kidd and Vince Carter, and then the next series after that it was Chauncey Billups and Rick Hamilton.
And guess what? Both teams didn't have a winning record. The Wizards or the Nets didn't have a winning record. They were both 41 and 41. I've never seen that at Jordan.
Yes, you did. Because Jordan was the better team. Just like when he was in the first round in 1991, he faced a team that won 40 games. Because you don't know the history, and you're getting exposed.
What about 2015 in the first round?
Silence yourself. We're talking about that 91 run. That 91 run when the Bulls were winning 60 games, who do you think they were facing in the first round? A team that was winning less than 40 games. So please move on. Have a great day. Enjoy your holiday. See you when you email me, and we'll have that discussion. Next caller, please. Have a great day, sir. These guys are idiots. You have now been exposed by the exposer.
I would say, man, all these Michael Jordan fodders, dude, like the first guy, oh my God, dude, I want him to blow my head off. Like, these guys are just, the more I hear these people trying to, like, have a shell of, like, support for Jordan, but they don't do it correctly, like, I just want to be a harder LeBron fan. Like,
now, let me ask you this, Travis. Why do they know more about LeBron James' career than Jordan? How come he knew who LeBron faced in 2007, but he didn't know who Jordan faced in 1991?
Because they don't do the research. All they go off is like they go off ESPN narratives, or they just like look at Twitter and they're like, oh, this must be. They don't have any substance to their arguments. They don't have any actual facts. Any in-depth.
Oh my God!
They just
regurgitate. They're not really Jordan fans.
That's it.
Yeah, they're not really Jordan fans.
Yeah,
they're not actual basketball fans.
They just don't like LeBron.
Okay, can I have this little minute, Brandon? Can we do?
Yeah, go ahead.
This? So we can get up out of here. We got 5-10 minutes. All right, let me put. Yo, these guys are hilarious, Brandon. These guys are the best, man. Please share the screen as I bring it up. Go ahead and share the screen. Please. I'm having some fun. Okay. All right. So remember I told y'all about the red. The red means inferior. These are the teams Jordan was facing going into the championship runs. I just got 91. 93 is not showing up. In 91, Jordan faced the New York Knicks in the first round. Let's double check what the Knicks record was in 1991. Let's go look up in that. Then who they faced in the second round there? What's that second team they faced in the second round? Brandon?
Philly.
They faced Philly. All right, let's go to NBA seasons. They faced Philadelphia and the Knicks in the first round. So we're gonna go to 1991 and see what those records was. All right. So in 1991, let's go here. The New York Knicks were 39 and 43. The Philadelphia 76ers were 44 and 38. The Bulls were 61 and 21. They had an all-defensive player in Scottie Pippen. They had Michael Jordan, which we already know was league MVP, all kind of categories, league scoring champ, all kinds of things. That's who Jordan faced in his first round. So can we say the Knicks were not competition?
You said the Knicks was what? 30? What'd you say?
39 and 43 in 1991.
For real? I didn't know that. Dang,
Yeah,
they was that.
because they're the eighth seed. The eighth seed is
Yeah,
going to
true.
be like that. They're the eighth seed, like Jordan was when he was 40 and 42. The eighth seed. That's what happens. So they want to give Jordan, they want to discredit, right, LeBron for being the better seed, and then they want to give Jordan credit for being the lower seed. So what is he talking about? Then he faces Detroit, just like I said, in 1991. Faces Detroit, then he goes up against the Los Angeles Lakers. In 1992, right, he goes against the Miami Heat. Let's go see what the Miami Heat record was in 1992.
They just came into the league in '89, right?
Listen, let's have some fun. This is why I'm the exposer. We're going to have 5 more minutes. We're going to get up out of here. In 1992, the Miami was 38 and 44. What's the second team after Miami Heat?
The Knicks.
The New York Knicks. They were 51 and 31 that year. And who was the team they met in the conference finals?
The Cavs.
The Cavs were 57 and 25 that year. But the Bulls were 67 and 15 in 1992. So they were 10 games better than any other team in their conference. They had an all-NBA player, an all-defensive player. They had 2 all-NBA players, 2 all-defensive players on their roster in 1992. No other team in the 90s had that in 1992. So who had a tougher road to the playoffs and winning? Since when you record, they don't know Jordan's resume. They don't know who Jordan faced. And let's not even go to 1997. Y'all want to know what Washington's record was in 1997? Or what New Jersey's record was in 1998? Do y'all want to know that before we go? Or should we just let everybody have a good Christmas and enjoy their holiday? Because I'm tired of hurting feelings.
Yeah, what was it?
Donnie, don't hurt their feelings. Don't hurt their feelings today. Let them have a Merry Christmas tomorrow.
I'm just saying they love to bring up all this stuff because LeBron James won 50 games in 2007. So in 1997, who was the first team he faced again in 1997? What was the team again?
The Washington Bullets at the time.
The Washington Bullets won 44 games that time in 1997. And the second team was who again? The Atlanta Hawks. The Atlanta Hawks won 56 games. All right. So that's the year they were saying that it was the crazy year. They had all those great winning teams, but all the whack losing teams as well. And in 98, let's see who's in 98.
New Jersey.
New Jersey won 43 games.
And then Charlotte. I remember that Charlotte series.
Charlotte team had won 51 games. But this was the year, this was the year again where you had the Denver Nuggets won 11 games that year. You had the Clippers who won 17 games. The Raptors won 16 games. The Warriors won 19 games. The Grizzlies won 19 games. You had 5 teams that couldn't even win 20 games in 1998. And then if you go to 97, it's the same thing. You had the Vancouver Grizzlies who won 14 games. Boston Celtics won 15 games.
You gave me the hardest decade here, and wanted to try and take notes on.
No, but that's how dominant the Bulls were. That's what people understand. It's not competition because in all these years, we're talking about in 97 and 98, Scottie Pippen's all NBA first team, all defensive. He's all defensive first team and he's all NBA team. So that's how much better he is than anybody else they're facing. They don't have there's no 20-point per game scores around here nowhere. No, the Bulls didn't face anybody that he's going to talk about. Let me expand it for you to show you how much I'm talking about. Remember, the red means that the team was less. They had less accomplishments when we talk about the graph. Y'all see that? That's Michael Jordan's playoff resume. There's basically 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 teams that Jordan faced that had more of all these selections, which are basically all NBAs, so all the accolades and all the stat awards. That's that again. Jordan always had the better team, starting from 1990.
Which one was when he won the title?
1990. You can see it. It's right there. It says you see the in red. It has 85, 86. Those are the years. So starting from 1990. 91, those are all the teams he faced. In 1990, he faced the Bucks. He faced the Knicks. He faced Philadelphia.
No, I'm saying which one had more when he won the title?
None of them. No team had more when he won the title. The only time he faced a team that had more was in 85, 86, and 87. And then he had in 89, Atlanta. The Knicks had something better in 89 because between Michael Jordan and Patrick Ewing Patrick Ewing did a little bit better than Jordan in 89. And then in 1995, they went up against Orlando, and that's because Jordan wasn't all NBA, all defensive, nothing, because he didn't play that year. So Orlando was better as far as 1995. And Jordan won one of those series. So he's 1-4 in those situations. I can bring up LeBron's if you want to just bring up LeBron's, we can get him out of here.
I'll go ahead and bring up LeBron. We got a few minutes left.
The only thing I'll say is that Jordan had faced at least a 50-plus win team 76% of the time in his playoff experience, and second only to Kobe, who did it 85% of the time. I mean, doesn't exactly reflect their accomplishments as a team,
right.
But
yeah. Go ahead. Again, none of this makes you the better player. This is just showing the competition. This is LeBron's career. This is LeBron's career, not counting 2021, because LeBron's played so many playoffs. I couldn't put in one graph. If you don't count 2021 and 2023, which in 2023, LeBron faced teams that had more than him. When he faced Memphis, they had a defensive player of the year, all defensive player. They had two all defensive players on their team in Memphis with Brooks and Jackson. Right, and then you have the Warriors, who had Stephen Curry made the All NBA team, and you had Draymond Green make the All Defensive team, so they were better than LeBron's team. And then you had the Denver Nuggets, who had the Joker or whatever, but that was less when you're talking about all these categories. And then even in 2021, Phoenix had more than the Lakers did. So, but you can see LeBron James faced more teams that had in the green, even in the championship runs. 2016, LeBron's team was not as good as most of the teams he faced in the playoffs. In 2012, OKC was better than LeBron's team. But all the other years, in 2011, LeBron didn't face a team. They were tied with Boston, but they faced teams that were less than them, even Dallas. But they lost against Dallas. But if you look in the beginning, all of his beginning of his career, when he was early in the career, 06, 07, 08, 09, he faced more teams that were better than those Cleveland teams. Jordan couldn't win. That's why he played more playoff series, because he wasn't losing in the first round. He wasn't losing during the regular season like Jordan was. So LeBron faced tougher competition with less help than Michael Jordan, and that's the facts.
Well,
you have now been exposed by the exposer.
LeBron didn't lose his first round series until that was 21 versus Phoenix.
Yeah, and that's because AD got hurt. If they were up 2-1 when AD got hurt.
Yeah, they were.
And in 2015,
hurt the whole series.
And in 2015, if either Kevin Love or Kyrie Irving, he just needed one of them. He didn't need it both. They would have beat the Warriors that first year as well.
They would have beat the Warriors in 2015.
Yeah, they would have. So, and in that 2016 year, LeBron James faced some teams that were good, like Detroit, which Drummond was a baller that year. They faced the Atlanta team that the year before had 4 All-Stars. They faced Toronto, who had 2 All-Stars, 2 All-NBA players. Both Kyle Lowry and DeRozan made the All-NBA team that year. So he faced some tough teams in that 2016. Then he had to go up against Golden State, who had 3 All-NBA players, the league MVP, an all-defensive player. They had the steals leader. They had the scoring champ. They had 2 players average 20 points per game for the career. A player averaged 2 steals per game for the season, and he beat them with the greatest performance in NBA history in the finals. So that's why LeBron James is the GOAT. So, any last words before we get up out of here, gentlemen?
You're not gonna be on Friday, right?
No,
okay.
Yes, I'm not coming on Friday's show, nor will I be here next Sunday. But Brandon will have a show next Sunday for you guys, so there'll be no Friday exposure. I'll be back for the New Year. Wish everybody happy holidays, Merry Christmas, Merry Kwanzaa, Happy New Year's to all of y'all. Anything you got to say, Brandon?
I need to say one thing. My fault traveling for Friday. My car was stolen, so I was dealing with that. So
don't you worry about it, big dog.
Came online. So I apologize.
Totally
for
understandable.
that.
We'll make that happen. Listen, you guys email me and we'll talk about it, or we'll set up a group chat and whatever, Facebook Messenger, whatever, we can discuss it so we can get it right. That way you guys can have your proper moment in time and everybody's on the same page. So for sure. So anyways, thanks for everybody who's in the comments, everybody who's following us on our subscribership as far as being a part of the GOAT James Kingdom platform. Hit that like button, share the content. You can catch us right here every Sunday, noon Eastern time, where we talk basketball in the GOAT conversation. We're also on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, and TikTok. Y'all make sure to follow us everywhere, like our content, share our content. Let everybody know LeBron James is the GOAT, and it's time to celebrate 40 points per game and beating OKC on Facebook, I'm out of here. I'm A. Johnny the Exposer. That's Brandon, the sports analyst. We are the GOAT James Kingdom Show. We are out. Merry Christmas. Happy holidays. Peace, y'all.
Merry Christmas,
See you
everybody.
guys.
Peace out.